welcome to day 22 of Bookmas. We're reaching the last few videos, so I thought it was time to do a bit more of a controversial one. And today we are doing the anti-book tag. Now, I saw this originally on Books with Emily Fox's channel, and I've also seen Jessie the Reader's take on this, and they were both very fun. So I'll link those down below. But I'm not quite sure who made this in the first place. If I find out, I will also put the creator down in the description. But this is a list of 8 questions about books that you are not that interested in reading, authors you're not that interested in reading, books you're not feeling convinced about. And I had quite a lot of fun picking out my answers to this, and it was quite difficult because I do feel interested in most books, even if it's one that I don't think I'll enjoy. I'm like, I might as well read it just in case, because there's some books that I thought I wouldn't like that I ended up loving. But yeah, without further ado, let me get on with the questions. So the first question is a book that everyone loves that you have no interest in reading, and for this one I've gone with The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. Now, I read The Hobbit in February and I loved it. I read it in one sitting, just in one day. I couldn't get enough of it, and I thought I was going to love the rest of the series. I thought it was a new favourite. I thought I could understand why it was a classic and what all the hype was about. And then I read the first one and I was like, what is this shit? I think they're boring. I think they drag. I think they're not what everybody makes them out to be. I'm not interested in the characters. I'm not interested in the world. And I wish I was. I want to be one of those people that can appreciate these, because they were like the first books like this, and I know Tolkien has carved the path for so many of the authors that I love, but there's just something about his books that I just don't enjoy. And I'm not really interested in reading The Return of the King. I'm not really interested in finishing the series off. I probably will, because like this is so much a continuation that my copy literally has the page count as going up to page 1174, because it carries on from the second one. Like, it's counting them as you read these as one whole book, but it's just split into sections. But I don't know. Everybody knows this story, right? There's a ring and the evil bad guy wants it, so they've got to go to the volcano and like throw it in and save the day. And I just don't know why it needs to be dragged out over 1174 pages. It feels like that's a pretty simple story to tell, and if he didn't flap around so much, like introducing characters that are never seen again, introducing aspects of the world that are never seen again, that aren't properly explored, if he would kind of just get on with it, it could easily fit into a book this size. And I don't think it helps that the only film I've seen was like the second half of the extended features of the last film. And it was like 2 hours, and it felt pretty cohesive. Like, oh, we're trying to get here. Oh, we're here. No, we've end of story. I can't imagine watching that for like 6 or 8 hours. I'm never going to get it. And I know that's going to be an unpopular opinion, and I'm really sorry. But it's just not for me. And yeah, it's just not for me. Prompt number 2 is a classic book or author that you have no interest in reading. And for this one, go with Charles Dickens, because I own every single book that Charles Dickens has released in the vintage paperback editions. I've got this beautiful cloth-bound classic of Bleak House, and I've read none of his books. I haven't read A Christmas Carol, and that's only like 100 pages. I haven't read Oliver Twist, and everybody loves Oliver Twist. And I just can't see me ever reading one of them. And I don't know why. Like, these are the kind of books that I should be interested in picking up. These are the kind of books that I should want to read, because they're so impactful on British literature. And, like, yeah, like, they impact pop culture a lot. Like, obviously, A Christmas Carol, like, everybody this time of year does, like, retellings of A Christmas Carol. Absolutely loved All About Us by Tom Ellen, a romantic retelling of A Christmas Carol. Like, it is a lot of things are inspired by these stories, and I just don't feel inclined to pick them up. And I wish I did, and I might one day, once I've read one of them. I think it'll be a case of like, once I've broken the seal, I'll get the hype and I'll read more of them. But it's just so hard to convince myself to start. Sean's just in the corner yelling, "Please, sir, can I have some more, sir?" Like, I get the quote. I performed in an adaptation of Oliver in secondary school. Like, I know how to sing Who Will Buy and dance around with, like, a beautiful basket of roses. It doesn't mean I want to read the story that started it. I'm sorry. The next prompt is an author whose books you have no interest in reading. And for this one, I'm deciding to pick E.L. James. I bought the 50 Shades trilogy because everybody was going on about it. And I found them in a charity shop for like $1.25 each. And I thought, yeah, I'll read them eventually. And I didn't. And I unhauled them. And like, I lent them out to friends. And my friends read them and were like, why didn't you read these? And I was like, don't feel like it. And I've gotten rid of them. And I have no interest in ever purchasing them again. So I don't think I'm ever going to read an E.L. James book. And I don't feel too sad about it. I don't feel sad about it at all, in fact. There's like a slight little bit of me is like, FOMO! Like, you've got to read all the books that exist, but like, that isn't possible, Alyce. There are too many books. Prompt number 4 is an author who you've read a couple of books from and you've decided that their books are not for you. And this is going to be another really unpopular one because I'm going with Holly Black. I've read the Spiderwick Chronicles and I enjoyed them, but I can't really remember anything about them. I've read The Coldest Girl in Cold Town and I loved it and I can't remember anything about it. I've read The Darkest Part of the Forest and I loved it and I can't remember anything about it. I loved The Cruel Prince and then I reread it and I didn't like it. I didn't like The Wicked King. I didn't like The Queen of Nothing. I hated the entire Magisterium series and I don't know why I read all 5 of the fucking books because I didn't like the first one. I carried on because I wanted to finish the series and I thought it would get better and it did not get better and I should have just stopped. Like, book 1 was like a 3 or a 4 star and then book 2 was like a 3 star and then book 3, 4 and 5 were like 2 or 1 stars and I just should have just cut it out. And I just don't think Holly Black is the author for me. I want to read the Curse Circus series because the covers are cute and I'm interested. And I want to read the Type series because I've owned them for forever and the covers are cute and I'm interested. But if I keep reading her books and I just find them so forgettable, I couldn't tell you the name of the lead character in The Coldest Girl in Cold Town. I couldn't tell you the name of the lead character in The Darkest Part of the Forest. I know that this is Jude and Carden because everybody goes on about them. And I really liked Jude's character and I loved Carden's character until book 3. And, like, I don't know, it's just disappointing because I thought these were going to be new favourites. And the first book was a new favourite and then I reread it and was like, actually, I don't really know why I liked it that much. And then I just didn't really like any of the rest of them. And yeah, I think I might just give up on Holly Black now. Prompt number 5 is a genre you have no interest in or a genre that you've tried and didn't get on with. And for this one, I'm going with like romance/erotica, as evidenced by the fact that I haven't read 50 Shades Grey. It's not a genre that interests me all that much. I've read an erotica book as a joke with Sean because he bought it and was like, haha, we can read this together. And I was like, haha. And like, the main character was called Fishy and she was like swimming around in a tank and they had like chained up and stuff and it was really fucking weird. And I don't know if that's like indicative of where most erotica goes, but it was not tasty. It was not for me at all. And like, we tried reading another book and it was like this artist was like painting people and being all like dark and sexy and the girl's like really interested in him, but the characterization was like really flat, so he's like, oh, I'm really dark and sexy, and you're like, no, you're not. Like, you're just words. Like, you yeah, he was like, oh, I'll paint you and I'll make you look amazing, but I can't paint you unless I've like had sex with you. And it's like, well, where's the logic in that? Like, seriously, get a better come online, dude. Like, that ain't cool. But yeah, definitely not a genre that I'm interested in exploring further. Prompt number 6 is a book that you have bought that you will never read. And for this one, I'm going for The Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer because I don't really know anything about it. I bought it because it's a cloth-bound classic. And I think the cloth-bound classics are beautiful, as you will notice. Like, I just buy these. I see these in charity shops and I buy them because they're very beautiful and I think they're so aesthetically pleasing. And I would eventually like to have the whole set of them, even if I will never read any of them. So I found this for £2 and I bought it. And I've read a bit of the Canterbury Tales before. There's like a tale in here that was like, it inspired something else and it was copied in. I want to say it was the Monk's Tale, but I might be making that up, and I cannot remember what it inspired anyway, but I'm pretty sure it's like copied into it. But it's because it's like old English, it's like written in verse, and it will be a very, very quick read, but I just don't think I'll understand it. Like, my brain is not smart enough for books like this. My brain is hardly smart enough to deal with verse that's written in the modern day. So if you make verse that's written in like the 1000s, 1700s, when was it originally published? Okay, the translation was published in 1951. It was translated in 1700, so I can't imagine that it was written... Oh, he was born in the year 1342. So, like, yeah, if I can't really deal with modern verse, I can't imagine me dealing with 700-year-old verse very well. I love owning this edition because it's beautiful, and I love that I've got a little Clothbound Classics collection because I have 4 of them now. I found Tess of the D'Urbervilles in a charity shop the other day. I have 4 of them now, and 2 of them are apparently books I'm never ever going to read. One of them's a Jane Austen book, so I've already read that, and like I'm interested in reading Tess of the D'Urbervilles, but like they're beautiful. So as long as they bring me joy, Marie Kondo would be okay with me keeping them, even if I'm never going to read them. So it's fine. It is a-okay. And also they only cost £2 each. Like, that's nothing. If you buy those editions brand new, they're like between £15 and £20. So, like, I've saved a lot of money to own them. Like, I haven't technically bought one yet. I own 4, so that's fine. Prompt number 7 is a series that you have no interest in reading or a series that you've DNF'd. And for this one, I've decided to go with Pretties by Scott Westerfeld. I'm a bit of a glutton for punishment, if I'm honest, because the majority of the series that I start, even if I don't like them, I finish them. And if I start a series and I like it, I don't finish it because I get nervous in case it disappoints me. But if I start a series and I don't like it, then I just carry on because I'm like, oh, what if it ends up really impressing me? What if it pays off in the end? What logic is that? Like, yes, I've given the first book in this series 5 stars. I don't want to read the next one in case it disappoints me. I've given the first book in this series 2 stars. Let me read another 5 of them. Alyce, you need to stop. Down in the description I will link the videos. I've done a series that I've finished and a series that I caught up with at the beginning of the month. I believe that they were videos 1 and 2 for Bookmas. So you'll be able to see what I mean in there, because the amount of series that I was like, I can't remember anything about this one. Didn't really like the first one, don't know why I read it. Didn't really like the first one. Stop carrying on with series that you don't like the first one. Pretties is one of these series. It's basically like, as far as I'm aware, like the first dystopian. It's not actually going to be the first dystopian because there are classics who've done dystopian in the past, but I think it was the first kind of YA book that was marketed as dystopian. But there's like a girl, and in this world you have to be like one of the pretties, so when you hit like 16 you have to have like cosmetic surgery to get like reconfigured so that you're beautiful or something. I can't really remember, but I didn't like the main character, I didn't like the writing style, it was a drag to get through. For some reason I then found them on the Book People for like £3 and I bought the set of 4 thinking I'll finish them eventually, and I haven't, and I'm not interested in finishing them. But also I'm a glutton for punishment. So this time next year I'll have reread Pretties and I'll have read the rest of them and I'll be like, yeah, it wasn't a very good series, but I'm glad I read it because I'm an idiot. And I'm sorry that you're watching my channel because you're just going to get infused with the idiot yourself. But yeah, that's the series that I'm counting as DNFing, even though I will probably finish it at some point. And then prompt number 8 is a new release that you have no interest in reading, and we're going back to Holly Black for this one, and thank you, Sophia. And we're going back to Holly Black for this one, and I'm choosing How the King of Elfhame Learned to Tell Stories by Holly Black, which is kind of like a sequel companion novel to the Folk of the Air series. So we're following Cardan, who is the King of Elfhame, and it's like short stories from his perspective. And everybody's buying this book, and everybody's reading this book, and I'm just not buying into it. Like, I nearly did. I have the Owl Crate exclusive editions of the trilogy. This is my Waterstones edition. I don't know why I decided to get this one down instead of the fancy ones, but I was gonna order the Owl Crate edition of How the King of Elfhame Learned to Tell Stories, and then I was like, there's no point because I didn't enjoy the other ones. If I buy this one and I don't enjoy it, I'll be mad at myself wasting money. They weren't matching the covers anyway, because the covers that Owl Crate have are like thrones with like stuff on them, and this one wasn't getting like a redesign like that. It was just a new colour, I think. I don't know, somebody's probably had it arrived by now. Colour and sprayed pages. They probably arrived by now, so I'll probably look up spoilers and then get the FOMO again, because that seems to be the meaning of my life right now. It's just, I just have FOMO on everything. But I didn't order it, and I'm proud of myself. And then I nearly ordered the Fairy Loot edition because it's purple and it's beautiful, but I didn't order it, and I'm proud of myself. And let's be honest, I'll probably read it eventually. It'll come on my library app and I'll be like, well, I might as well read it. I read the trilogy, and I'll probably hate it. And then I'll be like, well, I'm glad I didn't waste my money on it. Or I'll love it, and then I'll be like, fuck, why didn't I waste my money on it? But it's fine. I like Carden as a character. I've literally just said I'm not going to read any more Holly Black books. I like Carden as a character, but I just don't think that it would be worth me reading it, because I don't think that Holly Black is the author for me, and I don't think that it would have the same impact on me that it is having on other people who are reading this, having absolutely loved the Folk of the Air series, having absolutely loved Carden, and having been desperate to see more from that world, because I'm not, and I won't enjoy it, I don't think. So I'll avoid that one, and it'll be fine, until I read it in like 2 months' time and regret it. Well, I hope you enjoyed my take on the anti-book tag. If I've offended you, I'm sorry, but we're all allowed to have different opinions, and it just means that yours are wrong. If you like this video, please like it. If you would like to subscribe, then please do. We've still got just over a week of Bookmas left, so you will be able to finish our journey with us and see what we're getting up to over the next few days. And I will see you again soon. Bye!